Good evening and welcome to our special segment on health news, Public Health Alert, the HFMD Defense Strategy. Tonight, we're tackling a common but often misunderstood illness affecting countless families, hand, foot, and mouth disease, or HFMD. While usually mild, it can be a source of significant discomfort and concern for parents. The scenario we just saw is a prime example of how easily HFMD spreads. The culprit? Viruses like Coxsackie virus A16. They travel through respiratory droplets, direct contact with blister fluid, and even contaminated surfaces. That's why communal settings like daycares are common hotspots, especially for our most vulnerable population. What you just witnessed are the classic early signs of HFMD. It typically begins with a fever, reduced appetite, and a sore throat, often mimicking a common cold. But then comes the telltale symptom: painful mouth sores, followed by a non-itchy rash on the hands and feet. This is why understanding its causes and transmission is crucial.
The big question: who is at risk? Who is the most vulnerable to HFMD? Why some groups are more vulnerable than others? Understanding the primary risk factors is key for parents and caregivers to implement effective prevention strategies. The primary risk factor for HFMD is age, with infants and children under 5 years old being most commonly affected. Their vulnerability stems from their developing immune systems, which have not yet built up immunity to the various strains of Coxsackie virus responsible for the disease. While older children and adults can also contract HFMD, they are often protected because they have likely developed natural immunity from previous, often unrecognized exposure during childhood. It is important to note, however, that subsequent infections with a different strain of the virus remain possible throughout life. The environment in which children interact plays a critical role in transmission. HFMD spreads exceptionally fast in group settings such as childcare centers, preschools, and schools where close contact, shared toys, and inconsistent hand hygiene create ideal conditions for localized outbreaks. Furthermore, the disease follows a predictable seasonal pattern, typically peaking during a warmer summer and autumn months, suggesting environmental factors and increased indoor group activities may contribute to its spread.
So, what can we do to protect our families and communities? The good news is, prevention is largely in our hands. Our top 3 strategies are simple but incredibly effective: rigorous hand hygiene, diligent surface cleaning, and appropriate isolation. As we've seen tonight, while HFMD can be a challenging experience, with awareness and simple preventive measures, we can significantly reduce its spread. Remember, wash those hands, keep surfaces clean, and when symptoms appear, stay home to protect others. Thank you for joining us for this special report. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.